All right, so next thing we're going to be working on here is this climate graph or Climatograms activity. Okay, it's going to be pretty straightforward. I'm going to show you on Google Sheets here how you're going to do your climatograms, because we're going to use Google Sheets to do that, just because it'll be a lot easier and a lot more environmentally friendly to not use so many pieces of paper to do it. Um, so we're looking here at what factors can affect the climate of an area. That's the problem we're investigating. Essentially, we're trying to find out mostly here for Canada. Okay, what are the big factors that affect Canadian cities? It's not the same for all of them. Okay, because obviously there's fairly large geographic differences, okay, from place to place within Canada. All right, so our hypothesis has to be a tentative answer to the problem. Are there a few that they'll probably all have in common? Yep, and we probably would want to mention those, okay, as factors that would affect the climate of an area, okay, in probably the if part of our hypothesis. Okay, the and part of our hypothesis is simply what we're doing here. We're comparing climate information for various cities. And in the then part, you should probably tell me what patterns you think you're going to see. Okay, and that might be geographic. Okay, it might be, cities in these kind of places will be like this. Cities in these places will be kind of like this. Right, something like that. Tell me what kind of patterns you think you're going to see, okay, as a result of those factors. Does that make sense for the hypothesis? Okay, there's no variables. There's no design on this one. All right, it's no manipulated variable here, no responding variable. This is more of a, not so much a lab as it is kind of a study. Okay. All right, so you're going to break up into groups, okay, and I would recommend groups of 3, right? That way we have a sheet there that has 15 cities on it, okay, 15 Canadian cities, and that way everybody will do 5 climate graphs. Right? The idea here is to save you time so you don't have to make 15 all by yourself. Okay? They're time consuming. So if each person does 5, then the whole group will have all 15. The idea here is that when we have the climatograms built, we can look at them and go, okay, these ones are quite similar. Okay, these 2 cities here, their climate graphs look very much alike. So I'm going to put them in a group together. Okay, and these ones, their climate graphs look a lot alike. I'm going to put them in a group together. Everybody with me so far? Okay. Once we've kind of got those tentative groups built, what we're going to do is look in an atlas, okay, and see what factors are affecting those cities that we said had similar climates. Right? Because if we say, looking at their climatograms, that they're alike, we should find that they have similar locations, okay, and similar factors affecting their climate. That's what we're trying to find here. Okay, so we're going to try and prove this idea using climate graphs and geography. Questions on how that's going to work? Everyone's all right with that? I mean, the first day or so is just going to be building the climate graphs. And then it takes quite a bit of talking it over with your group to kind of decide, okay, do these ones go together or don't they go together? Okay, that kind of thing. All right, so you're going to have so that's the first part, building the climate graphs, okay? There's also a link here. You can, because we'll have the Chromebooks, you'll be able to access this link, and it'll take you to climate normals, okay, for various cities. You can just enter the city, and it'll tell you rainfall and precipitation, or sorry, that is it'll tell you precipitation and temperature, okay, for that area, as opposed to having to use the horrible chart that's on the back of your sheet, which I didn't even bother putting on here. You can see it on the back of your sheet. Okay, it's a horrible, horrible chart that's very hard to read. Right? If you go to the website that I just showed you there, okay, this is what it'll look like, and it'll tell you the average daily temperature, and that's what we want. Okay, your chart also shows more than that. Okay, what we're concerned with is the average daily temperature each month and the average rainfall. Okay, sorry, the average precipitation. Okay, totals here. Okay, for each month. Everybody follow me on that one? Okay, so because those are the 2 things that go on your climatogram, is just those 2 rows. Okay, so you'll put them in Google Sheets, and I'll show you that tomorrow because we'll probably run out of time today. And then tomorrow you'll spend getting your climate graphs ready and probably starting to group them. Okay, Friday we'll hopefully get all of this done. Okay, you and your groups will have that all decided out and typed up and everything and ready to go. Okay. All right, so any questions on what we're doing here? All right, I would say that since we only have maybe about 5 or 6 minutes left in class here, that you get together with a group, Okay, if your group is bigger than 3, that's okay. Just make sure everyone still does 5 climatograms on their lab report. Okay, when you hand in your lab report, I'm going to want to see your hypothesis, your 5 climatograms, okay, and then the groups that you and your group came up with, okay, and then there's some reasoning there in the analysis questions. You can see you have to justify, okay, why did you put them in here, okay, things like that. All right, so that's what I'm looking for there. If you have a group of more than 3, sorry, everyone still does 5. You're just going to have some overlap. You'll have 2 copies of one city. It's not a big deal. Okay, any questions? All right, so get together with your group, decide which cities you guys are going to do, okay, and then that'll probably take us till the end of class. Okay.